Hey everyone, it's great to have you all here for another session of our Wednesday webinar series. Thanks a lot for the warm introduction, Sharon, and thanks a lot, Samson, for accompanying today on the question and the panel, Q&A panel. Thanks a lot for joining people, and I believe you could see the screen, the presentation I have shared with the Zoho One highlighted. Do you see my screen? If yes, please raise a thumbs up. Awesome. So yes. So as many of you know, the Zoho One Business Suite comes packed with over 40 plus applications that cover nearly every part of your business. From daily tasks to long-term operations, Zoho One helps automate repetitive work and helps your business running smoothly and efficiently. Today, we are going to dive into the application that truly powers your day-to-day operations, an app that helps you align teams, streamline work, and accelerate growth. It's where productivity meets the precision. So let's get started with today's topic, Zoho Projects at the art of your daily operations in Zoho One. So as Sharon introduced me, media host for today, I'm Vignesh Mohan, Senior Product Support Engineer with Zoho One Classic Support Team. I'm truly honored and delighted to be presenting today's webinar and guiding you throughout the session. So here's going to be our today's objective of the entire session. We will begin with how Zoho Projects acts as the project execution hub of Zoho One, exploring how this project management platform is designed to help teams plan, track, and deliver work with clarity and efficiency. We will also see how its intuitive tools, automation, and real-time visibility keep everyone aligned and productive. Next, we will walk through the key modules: tasks, task lists, milestones, timesheets and time logs, issues. Each of these plays a specific role in organizing work, tracking progress, and ensuring complete accountability across your project lifecycle. We will then move into day-to-day operations and explore how Zoho One brings your entire business ecosystem together, with Zoho Projects playing a central role in execution. We will look at how teams use Zoho Projects to create and prioritize tasks, collaborate in real time, log work hours, track timelines, and quickly resolve issues. Along with the other Zoho One apps, it streamlines routine workflows, reduces the manual effort, and enables teams to stay focused on delivering results with clarity and consistency. After that, we will explore the integration capabilities because Zoho Projects connect seamlessly with other Zoho applications like Zoho CRM, Zoho People, Zoho WorkDrive, Zoho Desk, etc. And some popular third-party applications like GitHub, Slacks, etc. So these integrations bring your entire work ecosystem together for a unified project experience. And finally, we will wrap up with the best practices covering structured planning, well-defined workflows, consistent updates, and effective reporting. We will also look at how automation, templates, and dashboard helps teams stay organized and keep projects on track. So before we dive in, let me start with a little story, one that every person attending this webinar is actually a part of. Right now, all of you here are valued members of Zoho One family. But have you ever paused and wondered, how did you actually become part of this ecosystem? What really happened behind the scenes before you saw your first login screen or spoke to your first Zoho representative? It all began with our marketing team, the explorers of the Zoho universe. They spotted you in the vast digital ocean. They noticed your interest, analyzed what you were looking for, grouped you by region, business size, and industry, and finally said, these people are looking for something Zoho can solve. And then they passed you along to the Zoho sales superheroes, The sales team stepped in not just to sell, but to understand you. They reached out, listened to your challenges, your goals, your pain points. They analyzed your use cases, helped map your processes to Zoho One, and ensured the bundle fit your business like a glove. Once you were ready, our payments and accounts team took the baton. They guided you through the purchasing steps, ensured the transaction was smooth, helped you create your organization instance, and basically opened the door for you to enter the Zoho ecosystem. After that, our concierge and onboarding teams welcomed you like guests entering a brand new home. They gave you orientation, walked you through the apps, scheduled personalized demos, provided in depth trainings, assisted with the setups, configured your environments, and ensured your first steps were confident and not confusing. And then comes the team you interact with even today support. Whether you have issues, need guidance, want to build workflows, require clarifications, or simply need someone to steer you in the right direction, we have always been just a ticket, call, email, or chat away. So, yes, before you even started using Zoho One, an entire orchestra of teams worked behind the scenes to bring you into this ecosystem smoothly. All these teams, marketing, sales, payments, accounts, onboarding, and support, may have very different responsibilities, but they all rely on a product like Zoho Projects to work in sync. So, as all your businesses, each team contributes tasks, updates progress, share notes, resolve issues, and align their work towards one shared project goal. And Zoho Projects acts as a central stage where everyone's effort come together, ensuring your journey is smooth, coordinated, and truly exceptional. As you could see, just for a project of getting a Zoho One customer onboarded, we have so many teams marking their own milestones highlighted in bold fonts. The marketing, sales, accounts and payments, onboarding and support are milestones. So each milestone coordinate with each other. They all have their own list of task lists. For example, for marketing, they have a list of task lists such as to collect the data and analyzation, and sales as requirement and assessment, accounts and payments as account creation and payment, and onboarding as use case discussion and schedule demo, and finally support as the task list of new requirement collection and issue reporting. Each task list does has a list of tasks accompanied within them. For example, the collect data task list as the individual task get list and region grouping in order to be completing the entire task list, thus contributing to the entire milestone. So this is how Zoho Projects splits your bundle of works into simplified task list, milestones, and tasks. So in Zoho Projects, these core modules are the foundation. They are the pillars that hold your entire project structure together and guide your team from planning to delivery. All right, let's move on and take a quick look at how clean and simple this appears in our UI. Do you guys could see my Zoho project screen? If yes, please raise a thumbs up. Great. So I've created the entire Zoho One customer journey, which I've just told you as a project with milestones, task lists, and everything sorted out. I'll group them based on the faces so you could see and follow. Yeah, here you go. Just a moment. Yeah. So as you could see, I've grouped them by phases. Phases is nothing but the same milestones. So milestones represents the major checkpoints in our project. Think of them as the big goals we want to reach. They help us keep the project on track and give everyone a clear sense of progress. These, yeah, these typically include details like start and end dates, and you can also specify whether a milestone is internal or visible only to your end users. We call them technically as client users. We'll come to that in the later part of our session. So yes, these can be defined here. And once the milestones are created, you can see the task list. I'll show you here. So, yes. So the milestone marketing has two task lists. So once the milestones are created, each milestone is broken down into task lists. These helps us organize related activities into need groups so teams know what exactly needs to be done within each milestone. For example, as I told you earlier, milestone one for the marketing team is to collect the data of the customers from various sources and analyze the data, and only then they can further submit this to the sales team to proceed on to their work. And tasks, yeah, and tasks are the individual work items assigned to the team members or individual users. This is where the execution happens. Team members can see deadlines, priorities, and updates, making ownership and accountability very clear. I do get that this might be overwhelming to see from the creator project itself. I've just replicated the entire project already. So, and as I could see the poll results submitted before the session started, I could see most of you guys are new to the Zoho projects environment. So it would be better that let me cover this core modules once again by creating it from the scratch. So let's take a use case. Let's pretend I own a advertisement agency. I do create advertisement videos for the organizations, and Zoho has approached me for an advertisement project. So, creating an entire advertisement has so many subparts. I'll just for the demo sake, I'll just create a single milestone with its associated task list and task so that you could understand this better. So, when I create a new project, I do get so many options. I create a blank project and I do make its title as advertisement Zoho One. I'm assigning the owner as Ross Geller. I have two users right now with my test account. That's Ross Geller and Rachel Green. So I assign it to Ross Geller. And the start date will be from today, and the end date will be from to the end of the year. And at what timings I should be working on this project, because let's say Zoho One India has given me the project, so I would be working mostly on the Indian hours. And what if the Zoho from US or Zoho from UK has given me the project? So I must be working in their own timings. So I can create these work hours inside the settings so that I can have it displayed here. For now, I'll just choose standard business hours, and I'm going to charge my customers in the currency USD. Regarding the budget type and billing method, we will come on to this part later when we were discussing about the finance. So for now, I'll just mark it as public, as I told you already. When we mark the project as public, only then it will be displayed to your end users. For example, after creating the project and when I'm working on the project and the project is in progress, if Zoho people, the marketing team or the other team, the community team, they want to track how well I'm doing, they can just log into their client portal and they can view the project. So for that sake, I'm just keeping the projects as public and I'm adding the project. Here we go. So now, as I told you, our goal is to create an advertisement for Zoho One. Let me create a single milestone for now, and I'll call that as pre-production. So the pre-production part of the milestone will have different task lists. That is concept approval. I need to have a story for my yeah, let me go it here. It will be much better. Oops. Few minutes, please. Okay. So the one with the flag icon is our phase or a milestone. So the concept approval, I need to have a story to create my advertisement. So we will have a story discussion, first of all, with my creative team. And then we will have the story approval or story confirmation, maybe from the client. So after these task lists completed, the entire milestone concept approval will be completed. And Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Reproduction and the task list will be concept approval. I don't want this. Yep. And the task will be the story discussions and story informations. Okay. So I have a single milestone with the task list concept approval, and I have two different tasks, story discussion and story confirmation. And then I will add another milestone and I call it as, or okay, let me create another task list, location selection, and create another task list, gas selection. So for the location selection, I need to decide where am I exactly going to shoot my advertisement. So I will be going for a location hunt, and then I'll be transport arrangements for crew and cast, and then we will have a location permissions. So this will come under the entire task list of location selection. And for the cast, obviously, I have to do a audition and selection of actors, and finally, their call sheet management. So this is how we see this. Once you are pretty much well structuring the milestones, task list, and task, half of your work is done. So as you could see, I've created the phases, I've created the task list, and I've created the individual tasks that has to be assigned to specific users inside my organization as well. Now we proceed on to the next core module, the time logs. So as team members works on the task, they log their hours in the time log. This helps us understand the actual effort being spent and creates transparency that is used for billing, performance tracking, and future planning. Timesheets, on the other hand, they pull all those log hours into a single view, daily, weekly, or monthly. Managers can review, approve, and analyze these timesheets to keep project effort aligned with the expectations. And finally, the issues. Issues are used whenever challenges, bugs, or roadblocks comes up. For example, in the task of the use case where we have explored, let's say the location permissions. What if the location permission is quite delayed because of an official who's on a vacation or something? So that could be considered as a roadblock. So instead of email chains or confusions, the issues gives us a structured way to report, track, and resolve problems quickly so the project stays on course. So I believe the core modules of the Zoho project structures are completed. We have seen the milestones, task list, task issues, and time blocks and timesheets. And let's proceed over to our day-to-day operations. So every day begins on a lighter note. No one is ready to dive straight into the tasks. We all need a moment to prepare our minds, understand what lies ahead, identify what needs to be completed, and recognize what requires more attention. So in the context of a project management, this becomes even more essential. Project owners must review progress, track key metrics, and stay aware of the overall health of the project. And that's exactly why we need a dashboard. Zoho Projects dashboard gives us a real-time snapshot of a project performance, helping us make faster and smarter decisions. We can instantly check our budget status. You can switch between the cost and hours so that you might know how much hours we have actually planned to work on an entire project, how much is actually being worked on from the time blocks and timesheets. You can also select the cost so that you can know how much budget you have allocated and how much you have actually spent on the entire project. So while the budget status gives us how we are spending within the limits, and the task status here, the task status and overdue work items widgets highlights what's on track and what needs attention. Scroll down, we could see the team status view that shows how work is distributed across the team, helping us balance the workloads effectively. And we also have a time log summary that captures how much effort has been recorded, and planned with actual task comparison. Here we go. The plan with actual task comparison to help us measure execution against the expectations. So together, these dashboard components provide a clear, actionable overview that keeps our projects aligned, efficient, and on schedule. Dashboard gives us valuable high-level insights. However, we also need to understand who is loaded with work, who has little to do, and who needs more realistic goals assigned. This is where the two key reports come into the play: workload report and plan with actual report. There are some other custom reports as well, but the workload report and plan with actual plays a crucial part in your day-to-day operations. So these helps us assess task distribution, track performance, and ensure a balanced and achievable workflow. So as far as Zoho workload report is concerned, overloading certain team members can kill your productivity and lead to burnout, delays, and quality dips. And underutilizing others also waste your capacity. So with workload report, you get a real-time visual snapshot of your team's capacity, not just messy spreadsheets. It shows how much work is assigned to each user, considering their business hours, holidays, availability, etc. The report supports multiple views: bar, heat map, and timeline. So you can choose what gives a clear insight for your team. So from the report itself, you can reassign the task, reschedule, adjust work hours, or even add new tasks without jumping to the another module. So let me show you this in real time by accessing our project creator now. Okay, I'm grouping with none, and I'm going to, I'm going to the Gantt chart. Okay. If I go to my heat map, yeah, as you could see, some red points here, which means that racial green on those specific days have been overloaded with work. You can just click here over the heat map or the bar chart, so you can see the total availability for the entire project, how much hours has been assigned for them in total for the entire project to be worked on, and how much they are free. So based on this, you can decide which needs to be reallocated to someone and which needs more attention too. And as long as the actual with planned report is concerned, you can see so many data. You can detect the inefficiencies, tasks that take too much time, unrealistic planning, or even consistent underutilizations. It helps you manage resources better, avoid surprise delays and cost overruns, and plan future projects more realistically. So the work may be assigned and optimized, but do we really know what needs to be tackled first, what follows next, and how tasks should be sequenced? Do we know which tasks require urgent attention and which ones can be handled over a coffee break? All these insights become clear through one of the most critical tools in daily operations within Zoho projects. We call it as the Gantt chart. So many tasks depends on others. Just like in our use case, the Zoho One onboarding use case, once after only the marketing team submits the customers they have gathered all over the regions through various sources, the sales team could pitch in and they can actually check whether you guys are interested or not. So the Gantt chart helps you visualize these dependencies clearly. I'll show you this. Okay. So these, I have not assigned this to anyone, as you could see, and I have not created any start dates, due dates, and nothing. So today is marked on a red dotted line. I'll put it on the task list grouping so that it might be easy for me. Yep. So today starts with the 10th, and the first task I have to do will be my story discussion. I'll just simply click on it. I will drag it till, let's call that 15. Yeah. I'll have my story discussions for 5 days from now, and I will have the story confirmation. That will happen on 16th and 17th, maybe. So after my discussion gets over, I will pitch that to my client Zoho, whether this concept will be pretty much satisfied for them to proceed on for the shooting. And the location hunt, I can have the location hunt planned on par while I'm doing this discussion. I would be having a different team anyway for the location hunt. So I'm allocating the start date and due date from 11th to 17th of December. The transport arrangements could be done on part two. Once they finalize the the locations, they can have the arrangements done simultaneously. And the permissions, it's enough that I get the permissions on the last 2 days of my location. Yeah. And audition planning, only after the story and locations are set, I am going to conduct the auditions for the cast members. So let me put it for 18th of December to 20th. Yeah. The selection will be done on the same date. So the same dates, and the call sheet management only after the selection is done. I'll do the call sheet managements for 21 to 23. Yeah. 3 days that, or yep, 2 day, single day is enough, I guess. Okay. This is how you can easily, while creating the task itself, you can add the start date and due date, but when you view it in the Gantt chart and allocate like this, it will be much better. And when you are grouping them based on a task list or a milestone, it will feel much easier to view. And as I was completely thinking and allocating these dates, this is how it actually works on a project management, I guess. And even if you make mistakes, we have other tools that we are going to explore that will let us know whether some project needs more assignment or more days to complete. We will get to know about that. So far we have assigned the start dates and due dates to all the tasks. As you could see, the gray lines are the task list, the blue ones are the task. And if I group them based on the faces, if I involve the faces as well, I can see them in the red icons. Let me get back to the task list grouping. Yep. So let's say each task is dependent on others. For example, without completing the story discussions, I could not proceed further on the story confirmation. So that if I hover over the tasks, I could see a dot. I can just drag that and I can connect with the precedence task. So that what this means exactly means when I click on the task, you can see the story discussion is a predecessor and its dependency is FS. FS means finish to start. Only if I finish the story discussion, I could be further proceeding on the story discussions. The story confirmations. And likewise, if I'm not going for a location hunt, I could not do the transport arrangements. And if I'm not doing the transport arrangements, there is no purpose. I get permissions for those locations. And the audition planning must be done in order to select the cast people, in order to cast the people. And if the selection is not done, there is no purpose of creating a call sheets. So this is how it looks in real time. All these tasks could be connected and their dependencies could be defined like this over the Gantt chart itself. And also, it is not mandatory that always your dependencies has to be within a task list. You can do the dependencies across the task list as well. So for example, the story discussions and story confirmation, only after the story gets confirmed, I would know which role demands which cast. So I think the story confirmation is directly linked to the selection as well. And yeah, this looks good, I guess. Yeah. So as I said before, the Gantt chart actually help you visualize these dependencies clearly. And from the Gantt chart, you can also identify critical path and slack. Critical path is nothing but the sequence of tasks that determine your project's finish date. If any of these tasks slip, the whole project slips. We would have given a deadline for the entire advertisement to be submitted for Zoho. So if any tasks, if I, as you could see, once I enable the critical path toggle button, some of the tasks are highlighted in red, which means that these tasks are critical. In case if they get delayed or extended, this might affect your entire deadline when you are going to submit the entire advertisement. So we have to allocate more resources accordingly and ensure that this doesn't get delayed. It gets completed in the date specified. And Slack, I mean, some tasks may have some breathing room, the buffer that tells you where the delays are acceptable and where they aren't. So once you enable the Slack, you could see some dotted lines. Yep, these dotted lines. So, okay, these dotted lines up to a date, which means that these tasks are not so much critical. They can be delayed until the specific date. For example, as you could see, the story confirmation, I can delay up to the date of 20th. Whereas the call sheet management, they can even be delayed up to 26. So this is how you manage whether your tasks are whether critical or they can have a breathing space or something like that. So with this, the Gantt chart helps you visualize everything. And in short, I can call as a Gantt chart shows the flow, critical path shows the must to do tasks, and Slack shows flexibility. Mastering these in real time helps you control timelines with confidence. So let's proceed on to the next daily operations. Yeah, tasks may be well managed, but the users assigned to them must also be. So manage your people well and the project follows. Let's quickly go to the user section. Yeah. So here comes the user management to ensure the right people see the right work and collaborate smoothly. We have 4 kinds of users in Zoho projects. The users or the portal users, we call it normally. These are your core internal users. Your team members who log into your Zoho projects portal every day. Think of portal users as a full access group. They can work on tasks, log hours, collaborate, and access project features depending on the roles and permissions you assign. In short, these are your in-house players actively driving the project forward. And we have the client users. So client users are your external collaborators. Let them be your customers, your partners, or vendors. In our case, for the Zoho One customer journey, I do have a customer. And for the other use case we have discussed for the advertisement, Zoho is my client user. So they get controlled. They have limited access. They can review the progress. They can share their feedback, stay in the loop without seeing sensitive internal details. And when I was creating the project, I was telling you that we have to mark the project as either private or public. So this is where actually it is defined so much. So if I mark a project as internal, it means that it could not be accessed by the client users. So it's more like giving your clients a guest pass using the client user feature, enough access to stay informed, but not enough to roam everywhere. We have teams here. So teams help you group people based on the functions or operations they do, like marketing, development, QA, or operations. So when I'm creating tasks and assigning them, um, even in our Zoho One onboarding case, we had so much to do for the marketing team and sales team, and it will feel so absurd every time I used to assign, individual users one by one to a task. So when I create them as a teams like a marketing or support, it will be much easier for me to assign those responsibilities to them. And finally, resources. So resources simply refer to the people available for your work, your pool of manpower. In Zoho projects, resources are tied to workload, availability, and capacity. So this helps you answer the most important project questions. Who's free, who's overloaded, who can take on the next task. Resources give you clarity on planning, allocation, and balancing work efficiently. When we were seeing the reports, I'm not sure whether you guys have noticed the workload report along with the users. I could see the resources and the teams, the resources as well. I could not see teams here, but I could see the resources, the escalation and the sales executive. I've created them as resources here. So resources, I mean, with all these components in place, managing daily operations in your Zoho projects alongside Zoho One becomes nothing short of a cakewalk. So Zoho Projects inside the Zoho One ecosystem truly lives up to its purpose. It doesn't work in isolation. It becomes far more powerful when it teams up with the rest of the Zoho family. With Zoho CRM, you can seamlessly manage customer projects from a deal to delivery. With Zoho Books, billing, invoicing, and expense tracking flow effortlessly into your project timelines. Zoho OneDrive gives you a centralized, secured space for storing and sharing project files without the chaos. Zoho People helps you check team availability, plan resources, and approve leave requests while keeping the project timelines in mind. And finally, Zoho Click brings everyone together. Internal teams, external users, clients, all collaborating, discussing tasks, and resolving issues in real time. So together, these integrations elevate Zoho Project from a powerful tool to a fully connected project ecosystem. So now let's dive into each application and see how it all works in real time. Zoho Projects may excel at project management, but when it comes to customer relationships and management, we rely on Zoho CRM. And since we are already using the Zoho One bundle, integrating projects with CRM becomes essential. So once you integrate your projects with Zoho CRM by navigating to settings, from Marketplace, Zoho Projects, and once you enable this integration, CRM becomes a unified entry point. You don't need to switch between the two systems to track both sales and project execution. As you could see, the entire project's UI within Zoho CRM itself as a separate module. You can enter into the project, you can create tasks, task list phases, whatever the future that's already available inside your Zoho projects could be accessed within your Zoho CRM as well. And also, when you enter into a specific record, let's say on our advertisement use case, Zoho Corporation is my client, and I could see a related list called Zoho Projects pops in into the records once the integration is enabled. So it supports creating new project or associating existing project from various CRM modules, not only with the accounts. We can associate a project or create a project from the contacts or deals as well. So as we have already created the project, I just go and choose advertisement and I associate this project. So the CRM accounts or contacts records map automatically to the client companies or client users. So far, my users, client user section would have been empty. Now, once I have associated the project to the respective account, I could see that the client company or client users inside the projects is also synced, which reduces our manual data entry and errors. And from CRM, in the related list section, you can monitor the project progress, tasks, timelines, giving sales or relationship teams real-time visibility into Zoho project status without need access to project separately. You can also synchronize tasks bidirectionally, which means that, as I told you already, from the projects module inside the Zoho CRM, once you create a project inside the task or a milestone inside the CRM, it gets synced to your Zoho projects and vice versa. So when CRM and projects unite, deals don't just close, they smoothly transition into well-managed, successful deliveries. So yes, we have the customers and the projects, but we also need the fuel that keeps everything running, the finance. Let's take a quick look at how the finance suite integrates with Zoho Projects. When you integrate Zoho Projects with the finance-focused apps in Zoho Books or Zoho Expense Suite, this shows how project management plus accounting or finance can work together. From inside the Zoho Projects, you can see the finance. Okay, let me go back to the customer journey. Yeah. And finance. Okay. So from inside the Zoho Projects, you can create quotes or estimates. I've already created a quote, sent them to a client, approved it, and that's why I could see an invoice out of it. So once accepted, this can be converted into an invoices, as I said, and this integration is entirely based on an important configuration in Zoho Projects called as budgets. When I was creating the project, I was leaving this budget to explain at this point. Yeah. So we have two things: the budget type and billing methods to raise your transactions. This is exactly where it defines how you are going to charge the project, how you are going to calculate the actual budget, the planned budget, the actual hours, the planned hours, everything will be controlled here. So budget type describes how spending is planned, allocated, and implemented, where billing method describes how clients are charged for services. You could see multiple fields popping in and out based on the selection of the budget type and the billing method. And keep in mind, guys, wherever you see the term cost, it means how much you owe your internal users. And wherever you see the term rate, it means how much you are exactly charging your customers. For example, in this project type, I have created based on the project hours. If it is based on our staff hours, or if it is based on our task issue hours, I could see the cost as well as the rate as well, which means that if Ross Geller is working on a specific project, how much I am paying for Ross is defined in the cost per hour, and how much I'm going to charge my clients will be defined in the rate per hour. So it's logically the the rate per hour will be more than the cost per hour. So these above all information helps compare planned cost with actual cost. Project budgets from projects plus actual logged hours and expenses gives us the real-time cost visibility. And it's not only that we can create the invoicer from the Zoho Finance module, you could also select multiple tasks and you can create an invoice only for those tasks as well. Like this, you can create for the milestones. Yeah, you can create the invoices for the specific milestones. You can create it for the entire task list. You can create it for the task. So you can do it in bulk. And with part of the finance suite integration, we have expense. So with Zoho expense integration, you can record the project related expenses, say travel, purchase, miscellaneous costs directly from the project. Submit and manage this expense claims or reports, attach the receipts and have them approved and billed, all linked to the respective projects. So with the Zoho projects connected to books and expense, every hour logged and every cost captured flows seamlessly into your billing. No gaps, no guesswork. So now we have connected the finances integrated, we have the customers connected and everything in place. But every project still comes with countless files, timelines, physical bills, and more. We don't want Zoho projects to become a storage dump. And that's where our storage savior steps in, the Zoho Work Drive. The integration inside the Zoho projects gives you a central shared file management system inside the Zoho projects. So your project files aren't scattered or duplicated across different storage silos. When you create a project, a corresponding work drive team folder can be auto-created. all the project documents, attachments, task related files, design documents, etc. get stored in a properly organized flow structure. And if you access them, the permission and access rights are aligned. Members and roles defined in Zoho projects carry over to the work drive. So documents are accessible only to authorized team members inside the Zoho projects, maintaining confidentiality and security. So not just within the documents tab, you can also enter into a task and you can upload the documents from here as well. And not only adding the documents, you can also attach the work drive documents. You can fetch the documents attached in your work drive right from here. Let's say you have a predefined document of the Zoho pricing details, maybe to be shared with your customers. You need not to have it every time fetched from your local computer or cloud services. So we can have that already uploaded inside the Zoho work drive, one time by the admin folder or something like a frequently used documents, some folder like that. So you can fetch that directly into the documents module. So integrating projects with work drive transforms file handling from a side job to a built-in feature. So we have our customer sync from Zoho CRM, our finances were supported by Zoho Works, and our internal users ready to get the job done. But wait, is everyone actually available today, or is someone on a vacation? Let's quickly dive into Zoho People integration to track their time blocks and ensure smooth project planning. So the integration with Zoho People and Projects is pretty much straightforward. So once connected, it creates a seamless time tracking and project management experience. The integration enables import of projects, tasks, and timesheets from projects to people, and push of approved time blocks from people back into the projects as timesheets. So this means less manual data entry, fewer errors, and seamless alignment between project planning and actual time tracking. The tasks in projects would be synced here as jobs and gives much more convenience to create time blocks even using a timer. Hence, with just a one-time setup by admin, our project and HR system get integrated, no more double entry. And as long as people works, they need interaction. They need a space to discuss projects, tasks, and milestones. So only when your project updates meets your team conversations, the productivity skyrockets. That's exactly what the projects and click integration delivers. Once you enable the projects within Zoho Click, the new in charge for the project live updates named Projects Bot will happen. It's not just that you can create a channel in Zoho Click. I'll go to channel. I'll create an organization. Let me call it as advertisement project channel. I'll add the participants. And yeah. So once you create a channel in Zoho Click, you can associate a project. Here we go. Here we go. So you can add the members and you can discuss your internal conversations over the chat about the project, more secure and intuitive. If you like to speak particularly over a milestone or a task list, let's say, you can also see the click widget on your right side and you can start your new conversation from here. So this conversation that you create will be specific to this task list alone, task list or the task alone. If you create it from the milestone, it will be specific to that milestone alone. So all these stats could be collectively found under the collaboration sections and within the record itself, as you could see within the milestones or phases, the milestones or task list or tasks. So along with these set integrations, Zoho Projects does as more integration, such as with Zoho Desk to create tickets on issues and tasks, Zoho Sprints to deliver work using an agile and interactive approach. Last but not the least, Zoho Flow that widens the opportunities of integrating projects with many more external applications even outside the Zoho environment. Zoho Projects is already powerful on its own, but integrated with CRM, People Click, WorkDrive, Books, and the entire Zoho One suite, it transforms into a unified business command center. So the Zoho One suite, with its rich collection of applications, has already given us a powerful ecosystem where everything works together to drive successful project completion. Yet, even with this powerhouse at our side, we often find ourselves wishing for a few extra buddies, helpers that can save us precious time, tools that can speed up the creation, simplify the bulk updates, remind us of due dates, automate repetitive tasks, and keep our workflows running smoothly. Here comes our final checklist of today's webinar. Let's explore a few simple but powerful best practices that can transform the way you manage work in Zoho projects. Yeah. Um, Guys, please raise a thumbs up if you could see my screen. Okay, I just heard someone saying that there was an empty screen down. Yeah, great, great. That's a wonderful response. Yeah. So yes, let's explore a few simple but powerful best practices that can transform the way you manage the work in the Zoho projects, making your projects not just organized, but actually enjoyable to run. The first one would be project templates. We have project templates as well as the task templates. So the purpose of it is, let's say, I've spent so much of time create this entire milestone task list and task for this demo sake. What if I have to submit this to a different team, not for Zoho One? Let's say CRM Plus bundle team is asking for this same project planning. And what if I'm going to assign this entirely for a new customer? So I shouldn't be creating the project right from the scratch, right? So in order to save my time, I can just click on the project and I create it as a template. I'll call it as journey template Z1, Zoho One. The same, all the project allocation, the budget allocation which I've done in the original project will be copied here. And once I click on add project, it will take few time. So instead of reinventing the wheel every time, you launch new projects with predefined tasks, milestones, and workflows, saving time and ensuring consistency across your teams. So next time, where you can see your project templates here. Here we go. The project template Zoho One. If you enter into the project, you can see the entire task list flow into that. Yep. With the tasks added soon. So next time when I was given a project to create for this entire journey, I need not to have created from the scratch. I can just create a new project, choose the project templates, and I can choose it right from here. It saves so much of our time. And once we have generated all our tasks from the templates, assign the due dates, the real challenge begins. Keeping track of them. The moment I say due dates, I'm already thinking, all right, who's going to keep me in the loop? I need instant, reliable reminders that tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, it's time to pay attention. And this is where my notification plays. Feed updates and click notifications. Feed notifications and click notifications keep everyone in the loop. Whatever the click notifications I've enabled here will flow directly into my project bot. We have seen in the integration of the Zoho Click. So whether it's a task update or a deadline change or a new comment, notifications reach the right people instantly. So nothing slips through the cracks. Whereas we have reminders. This is the reminders for the admins. You could see the consolidated view of your daily digest, unassigned or unassigned task, overdue items as a consolidated sheets to your email. And we do have the individual tasks reminders as well when you enter into a task. Yeah, you can see the reminders here as well. So reminders acts like your personal project assistant, nudging you before a due date, milestone, or a pending approval. They ensure that even in a busy day, critical tasks don't get overloaded. So, picture this. It's an overdue day, and suddenly I'm hit with notifications. 10 tasks need special attention. Sure, I've completed them, but now I have to update every single status. And on top of that, notifying the clients that their work is done. Definitely not a one-person job, right? That's when I call my secret weapon, my automation buddy, workflows. We have project workflows and task workflows here. So let's say when I update a status inside the Zoho projects, when a project is updated to any value and the status gets completed, I want to automatically send an email saying that this project has been completed to my client. So this is how I can, I mean, do the heavy lifting with the help of the workflows. So on a larger scale, the project level workflows helps you automate repeated processes like onboarding approvals or progress updates, ensuring the project moves in sync. And we do have the task automation as well. It can set the rules that automatically assign the task to specific owners, change the statuses, or notify the users based on the triggers. The same kind of a trigger, condition, and action method as we've seen in the projects as well. So no manual follow-ups, no bottlenecks, just smooth flow. And while one thing to mention here, we have the projects and task automations readily available inside the Zoho projects. Currently, we don't have the triggers or the automation available for the milestones, but you do get those milestone triggers inside your Zoho flow. Mostly milestones could be completed based on the list of their, list of their sub task list and task gets completed. But in case on an exceptional use cases, if you need a milestone trigger, you can use a Zoho flow to do that. And while I'm busy closing out my task, I realize I'm not the only one working on this project. Yeah, I do have the other user, Rachel, is also working on those projects. Suddenly, I notice tasks being cancelled or moved to unexpected statuses, and I have no idea why. Wouldn't it be so much easier if someone could nudge the other user, say Rachel, to quickly share the reason behind their action, or maybe even require a note in a field like comments before she can proceed? That's exactly where task blueprints step in and save the day. I can create a set of transitions from one stage to another, and in between them, I can have the before, during, and after transitions. So I can set a message. I can set a message, and I can also make the field comments as a mandatory. If at all, let's say I'm moving from the call sheet management in the use case we have discussed. After giving the call sheet management, I will be proceeding further for the director to hop in and do the shooting thing. So obviously the call sheet management document has to be shared to him. So while changing the status, he might need an attachment as well. So I can add the field attachment as a mandatory thing here. So this is how the blueprint entirely helps us. So it defines a clear structured path for complex tasks. Each stage, action, and transition is mapped out. So the team always know what needs to happen next, reducing the confusion and increasing the accountability. And based on the entry criteria, the blueprint automatically gets assigned to your task list or the task. But in some cases, if you don't want it to be done manually, you can not mention the entry criteria and you can associate the blueprint manually here. It depends on your use case entirely. And finally, we have a best practice to be followed that is called as macros. Macros are your shortcut to efficiency. With a single click, you can update statuses, reassign tasks, and send notifications or apply bulk changes. It's perfect for repetitive actions that shouldn't slow you down. Let's say I want to change this entire task list of tasks to a completion state, or these are all unassigned. I want to execute a macro rule so that it all gets assigned to a single user. So when I click on the macro rule, what are the macro rules created here will be applied. So if the task owner is unassigned, I'm assigning this bulk to Rachel or Ross or a third person. So when you adopt these best practices, managing projects becomes easier, smarter, and far more enjoyable. Zoho Projects helps you love the work you do every day. As we wrap up the today's session, I hope you have gained a clear picture of Zoho Projects truly sits at the heart of your daily operations within the Zoho One ecosystem. Thank you so much for taking the time to join this webinar today, engage with the content, and explore what's possible. We hope you are leaving with ideas and inspiration that will help elevate your project management journey with Zoho Projects and Zoho One. Have a great day ahead.